Last week, I did a vlog and blog on the subject of pastors shouldn't protest. A lot of people were upset, and I wonder if they bothered to read what I wrote. I didn't say pastors should never protest. I said, not now. You can't make comparisons today to the time of Martin Luther King Jr. Back then, there was no radical leftist Antifa-anarchists who were marching with Martin Luther King Jr. There were no looters in Selma. There were no people in this mixed multitude of Black Lives Matter who were out to destroy property, though some are very sincere. I just said when you get involved in something like that, you got to be careful what you're identified with. Part of the problem is if we take a single tragedy and make that the template for our actions. I believe the roots of racism can be identified and pulled up. Slavery, that's one of them. Destroyed the family. Slaves were treated like property, less than human. They were bought and they were sold without any respect for spouses and children and the family. And that created great instability in families during slavery. There was no regard for them as a unit together as one. And this has fragmented African American families, and many black pastors tell me they still struggle with the effects of that curse today. That curse of slavery has to be broken by every African American Christian. And we also need to confront the demonic roots of white supremacy. Most people don't know where that comes from. The regime of the Third Reich, Hitler, was based on demonic Nordic gods. That was the structure for which they started anti-Semitism and the hatred of people of color, going back to gods like Odin and Thor. And then there's something called the curse of Ajante. That comes from Scandinavia. It's all about conformity to the collective idea of what is normal. And if you're basically a white culture, that plurality, well, that's going to be discriminatory and stigmatize blacks. In Minnesota, 17% of the population comes from Norway. I wonder if what happened to George Floyd was in part a reflection in Minneapolis, Minnesota, of this curse of the Ajante. We got to move beyond the gut-grabbing headlines to take a look at the spiritual warfare that's behind what's going on. Our country needs to heal, and identity politics isn't going to heal it. We must pray and break the curses that have stigmatized certain individuals and certain classes of people. I've broken the curses, Ajante. I'm half Norwegian. It was necessary for me to do that, even though I've never had racism in my outlook. African Americans must break that curse of slavery. And white Americans must break every curse of white superiority. We've got to move beyond poverty and despair and understand that generational curses are driving a lot of behavior today. We have to pull up those roots of racism and cast them into holy fire. If you'd like to learn more about spiritual warfare, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and see all the other ways we can teach you about how to overcome evil in your life. A one-stop place with all the information at your fingertips is our website, boblarson.org. There you can see how to take the free demon test to see if you have a demon. You can also see what books we have available. I recommend, if you're looking for one to get started, our book, Curse Breaking. Also, at the website, you can learn how to enroll in our International School of Exorcism and to have your very own virtual one-on-one spiritual encounter. All these opportunities, by God's grace, we make available to you so that spiritually you can know how to get free, stay free, and live free.
Your financial support and prayers make it possible for us to bring hope for the hurting and freedom to those in spiritual bondage. For the latest information regarding ministry outreaches, go to boblarson.org or call 303-980-1511.